Hi, my name is Willows.
My name is Tyler.
And welcome to Alcohol Beyond This Point.
It is a podcast.
The ancient Persians used to deliberate on matters when they were drunk, and then they would revisit the issues when they were sober. They would try to come to the same conclusion both ways, and that's what we do here on this podcast. So, welcome.
We are two young business guys with extremely opinionated views, and it gets even worse the more we drink. So, if you want to hold us to our opinions,
don't.
Go fuck yourself or drink.
So, welcome. I have no idea what episode this is. I think it's
13?
14, I want to say.
14?
I have no idea.
I think it's 14.
So, we haven't recorded in a while. Do you want me to tell you? Do you want to tell them why that is, Tyler?
I've been working a lot.
It's your fault.
I've been working a lot.
You've been working a lot,
I've
so that's
been
good,
working
though.
a lot.
But it's been like, I think, a month since our last podcast, so welcome.
Yep. Started a business, got a good contract, and was hustling long days, a lot of days, long hours, and then took a week of vacation for no fucking reason, and here we are.
So, it is mid-June, actually late June almost, June 23rd today.
I was going to say 2016.
I got it. No. Oh. June 23rd of 2020.
Yep.
COVID's still a thing.
Yeah, we're phase 3.
We're on phase 3 of reopening.
But America is phase 1.
Yeah, we're still at 7 deaths in Manitoba on 1 million population. We're
like 5-6
We
cases.
just jumped into the. Okay, so full disclosure, we are intoxicated.
Yeah, we started this 3 hours ago.
We started drinking. We were down the pub, and then we came back here and drank some stuff.
No, why? We drank before that.
Anyway, so what are we drinking today, Tyler?
Product testing.
What is this?
Raspberry wine. Right?
Shrugging Doctor Raspberry Wine.
Yours truly.
This is also Shrugging Doctor Cranberry Wine.
Ooh.
I have in my hands. We got a couple Corona little beers. And we also have
a beaker
of... No, I don't know when this is going to come out as an... Okay, so we, Shrugging Doctor today has ventured into our first official spirit. This is a vodka that has been distilled, fermented and distilled on premises here. This isn't like a mix. This isn't neutral grain spirit. This is an actual distilled in this building vodka.
What it is.
Yeah, so this is a legitimate vodka.
Yep.
We're making it mostly for, we're doing cocktails in my bar.
Yep.
So, that's why I made it. So,
and maybe some other stuff in the future. In cans.
We'll see.
Maybe some stuff that college chicks like.
What I'm going to do is pour a couple glasses of this raspberry wine.
Ooh, are we making a cocktail?
No. Well, we could.
Can we? Like
we
right
could.
now?
Yeah, we could. No, we're going to have... It's shot day. Shot time, remember?
Damn it.
We still haven't come up with a name for this part of the podcast, but at this part of the podcast, we take a shot, and it's the shot that...
really necessary today.
Yeah, it's the shot that you, the audience, picks for us to take, and because we have very, very few viewers, and no one has picked a shot for us to take,
we will continue to make poor choices.
We're going to continue to pick these shots that we don't like. So we are taking...
It's better than grappa.
Last podcast was a fucking terrible shot, but... cheers.
That's actually pretty smooth.
You don't have to just say that because it's mine.
No, I just inhaled it.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast where you've been drinking for hours.
So,
and
yeah, continue.
We're not happy.
Why aren't we happy, Tyler?
Because the world is on fire.
The world is on fire.
Okay, that I'm happy about, to be fair.
Okay, so if you're listening to this from future land, between last podcast and now, we have had the unfortunate gang murder of George Floyd by the largest gang in the United States, the police department.
Absolutely.
And we've had some protests. We've had some big protests.
Yep.
We even had one in Winnipeg here with 20,000 people showed up, 18,000, something like that.
And we got a little bit of a problem here, but
not even no problem.
Just
nothing broken.
Just in empathy.
Cops didn't show up. Like, we didn't have any problems. And that was more than 2 weeks ago, and we haven't really seen a COVID spike. A little bit. But I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
It's like 4 truckers that have got COVID since.
We've been doing pretty good. So that's the context: is the world is burning down because of Black Lives Matter and all that. But
and how do we feel about the world burning down?
I take a really Heath Ledger Joker approach to the universe burning down. I think it's probably
some men want to win, some men want to lose,
some just
men
want to watch
wanna
the
watch
world burn.
And we're those guys.
We're those guys. No,
it's pretty alarming to some people. You know who you are, but as I stated to a simp earlier this week, there's 3 options when you cast your ballot. There's the one side, there's the other side, and then there's the neither side. And you destroy your ballot and you cast it as in protest of I don't believe in either.
Which is what I did this election for the record.
That is democracy.
Yeah.
You do not have to choose 1, 2, or 3. You can choose none of the above.
And we're lucky in Canada to have 4, 5, 6 as options as well.
Not just 1 and 2.
But in the United States, where this is most of a problem, they have 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's people are not binary.
No.
The most insane stance I've seen is like someone that tried to literally put me in the corners. Like, are you this? Do you believe in this? Do you believe? Do you support the acts of Antifa?
Are you Antifa or are you a patriot?
Yeah, what degree of fascism do you support? And I'm like, oh my god, you're actually stupid. Like, okay, so we'll score your IQ at under 42, and let's start from there.
It's all the people that think
they understand.
No, it's all the people that think it's us or them. That's the mentality, right?
Yeah.
Where at the end of the day, I always preach. I think I've said it on this podcast a lot. Like it's called horseshoe theory of politics.
Yes.
Horseshoe theory is that the farthest right and the farthest left actually come back together.
Yeah.
Because in like a horseshoe, I'll point at the camera, horseshoe, if you're watching on YouTube. I spilled a little wine on my foot as well. But you'll come back around, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot the far right and the far left can agree with.
Absolutely.
It's
a lot of personal freedom.
Well, basically, just don't hurt people, right? Like,
yeah.
So
stick to your own shit, whatever the fuck it is.
Because also with politics, when you're talking about it in an actual complex manner, you have to look at the quadrants. I'm sure you see memes before, like where you are in the quadrant, because it's not just right left, right?
Yeah.
I think it's right left and then authoritarian, libertarian.
I don't think it's libertarian at the bottom, is it?
Or maybe it's libertarian, I think it's I think so.
We don't even know the quadrants.
Whatever.
Sorry.
I could say it if I was sober, but there's you're in a quadrant, right? Just Google politic quadrants, because a lot of people, like, even Trump is pretty far left if you actually think about it. He still supports Social Security. He still supports, welfare, like all this shit. Like, you're still, like, fascism? Like, I always quote, I forget what movie it's from, but he's like, if you can buy a Big Mac, you're not oppressed. Like, this isn't fascism, right?
Yeah.
And unrelated, the same people that call Trump a Nazi also say that we should give the government more power. Like,
confused.
Whatever. But,
long story short, the universe is not full of factions, it's full of people.
Well, and I posted this the other day. It was like a square, so the top was like it was divided into the richest, so like the top was the richest, and then it like went down to like poor people or whatever. And it's like, here's the enemy that you think is the enemy, the rich. And it was like, what your actual enemy is, the corrupt rich.
Yes.
Right? It's like the rich that want to use their money to control you. Because people
Which is a pretty small fraction.
Well, yeah, but I think both the right and the left and libertarians and communists, I think, can agree that these corrupt rich people shouldn't be in power and being able to, control people.
Because anybody that, most people that are rich, first emotion is guilt.
Sure.
You feel guilty for how successful you are, how much power you have, how much money you have, because you feel like you don't deserve it.
Someone on the left would not think that, I think.
Someone on the left that's rich?
Oprah Winfrey. Barack Obama.
You don't think they feel guilty?
No. I'm trying to think of left people that are rich.
Yeah, no.
A lot of actors.
Yeah.
Right.
But in most cases, actors themselves become depressed because their money becomes meaningless, their wealth becomes meaningless because they earned it through means that were too natural to them.
There's a J. Cole quote. I hope you know that money won't erase the pain.
Yeah.
Like he's talking about these young kids getting rich, and it's like...
Or Jim Carrey is saying, I wish everybody could become rich just to understand how...
meaningless it is?
How meaningless it is.
There's
I think that's super key to understanding the fact that rich is not the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fucking horrible people, and there's horrible people. You don't have to be rich in America to be horrible and buy a gun and massacre a school.
True.
You do not have to be rich to cause terror and horror to the people.
Yeah.
You can be rich and do it and get away with it, or you can be poor and do it and not get away with it.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't matter.
And I don't want to get into arguing about whether rich people, like Jeff Bezos, maybe people on the left would say, oh, he fucks his employees and they're on welfare and whatever, blah, blah, food stamps, whatever. But then people on the right go, whoa, he's providing millions of jobs and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get into that debate because I think we're both probably on the same side of that debate. I think
we can't debate each other on these things.
Think what you will about that, whatever. But I think what we all sides of the aisles can agree with is that, well, maybe they can't. Maybe this is woke, but George Carlin said, this country has been bought and paid for a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's all a big club, and you're not a member. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said, is you're not part of the fucking club. And no matter, he said, George Carlin's a big inspiration of mine. Saved my life, I would say, when I was younger and going through some shit. And he said something like, the shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing.
Yeah.
This country has been bought and paid for.
Yeah.
And if you think any different, I don't know.
It's optics. You have 5 or 6, what do they call it, wedge issues?
To keep people debating.
What do they call it? Is it wedge? No.
No, I don't know.
Anyways, but it's
wedge doesn't sound right.
There's those 5 or 6 things they argue about.
Like abortion and...
Same-sex marriage.
Same-sex marriage and welfare, stuff like that.
Taxation.
That keeps all of you arguing each other.
Thinking they're valid arguments. And the other 90% of the ops happen in the background without any news.
I'll just make this podcast a George Carlin quote. But he said... what was it? I lost it. But, okay, the other thing I was going to say... I'll get it back. The other thing I was going to say is there's a picture of a Black Lives Matter activist and a Confederate flag wearing guy, and they both have assault rifles, and they're walking in to fight police, and they're fist bumping, and they say, "I got you, brother," and they both say that, and then the caption is the government's worst nightmare. Is everybody being wait.
Yeah.
We're all just pawns that are moving around, but if we all step off the board fucking flies off.
Yeah.
Right? That's the worst fear.
If you piss off the conservative white people...
Oh, hold on. I'm going to cut you off because I remembered it. The George Carlin quote was, the rich, or the rich are there to inspire the middle class to work harder, and the poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. to keep them showing up to those jobs.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we probably talked about this at earlier episodes. Like, I was getting involved in politics, and I was, like, actually involved with a party. I won't get into that because it's been Google Willows Christopher politics. You'll probably find the articles.
Something.
CBC did an expose on me. Fucking Global did an expose. Like, you'll find an article. But since then, I really honestly, and maybe I still believe this a little bit, but like, I think I could make a change. I honestly think I'm real enough and I don't give a shit enough. I'll go back to nothing.
Yeah.
Were these people gonna fucking blackmail me?
So let's talk about
Like,
the controversy between I'll change things from the inside versus let's burn this shit down.
Yeah.
And let's burn this shit down might make some of you, you know, the low IQ percentage think that this is white supremacy.
Don't fuck with people. Like,
so burn this down means I choose neither. I don't agree with either. I'm not supporting either. I'm going to sit around and wait for something better to come along and protest everything that's happening. So are you fix things from the inside?
Am I?
Right. Would you? Could you?
So, I guess what you're asking is, do I believe the system is so corrupt that even if I got inside, I couldn't change it because it's so fucked from the bottom?
Or it just has so much momentum that you can't change it in the short period of time you could be there.
Because I could only be in office for 4 years.
Or 8.
Or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good question. Because I do believe that not everybody that gets into politics is a fucking lizard person, sketchy, mean, hates humanity.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Nobody is out there to hurt people. Everybody's out there to serve some purpose.
Most people.
Which they believe is right.
Yeah.
Like, even Hitler thought he was a pretty good guy. So that was like, in the back of my head, that's a quote from, I don't know who, that always kind of drives my decisions in politics. Like, even Hitler thought he was a pretty good guy.
We could have a conspiracy theory episode.
And right after the MLM?
Sure. There's a book. This is why we don't do this fucking intoxicated, because I can't. There's a book, I forget what it's called, I've read it. It's by, like, a maid of Hitler's.
Okay.
And it's, like, overheard conversations.
Oh.
In, like, his house.
Yeah.
And apparently one thing he said, and this is, like, what this is what, like, what Holocaust deniers grab onto, is, like, this set of quotes that I'm about to say. And for the record, I believe the Holocaust happened.
For the record?
I'm just quoting, so don't take this out of context.
It's pretty hard to reject.
Don't clip this, but he said basically, like, he was, like, apparently distraught and, like, talking to someone he trusted. I forget who it was. But he was, like, talking to someone, and he's like, I know they're going to label me a monster. I know they're going to fucking say I'm this. I know they're not going to get it. But I need to stop what's happening. Because he thought this, like... And he thought of, like, this Jewish cabal, the Rothschild Illuminati, was taking over the world. And he said, I don't care what they think, I need to stop this.
Yeah. And
when you dive into, like, other Illuminati, you know, conspiracies...
Right. Could have been. At least to some degree. He was onto something.
You know what? You never know.
Took it too far, had too much influence.
I am not endorsing anything.
Absolutely not. But that's just to say...
But I could see how a mentally ill man could believe that's what to do. You know what I mean?
Right. You take one thing and you extrapolate and you say everything that is like this thing is evil.
Yeah. Well, because Jacob Roth... And I don't like Jacob Rothschild and the whole... I've done reports on the Illuminati, like, in school and stuff. I believe there is, like, a global cabal that's fucking with us.
Yeah.
I know they're Jewish in quotations if you're watching the video. They don't believe in anything. These people.
Yeah, whatever they started off as is not what they are.
Is not what they are. So there was this, this is a quote that like Holocaust deniers hold on to, is that he was like, I don't care what, because the whole Napoleon said like history is written by the victor.
Yes.
Or history is the set of facts that we all agree on, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's not what happened, it's what we all agree happened.
For the sake of the victor.
Because everyone else is dead, right?
Yeah.
So, there was it's a whole thing that Hitler was like, yeah, I'm gonna, whatever. I don't know where my point was. Now I just sound like I'm anti-Semitic because that was my main point, but it wasn't. Finish that right now.
People don't think they're evil.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, people don't think they're evil, and I don't think a lot of politicians get into politics because, like, I think they probably do want to change things for the better.
Yes, and that's why people like me.
Oh, and you were asking, do you think I could
you
change
fix
things from the inside?
Because everybody in that room is like, I
We wanna
know
change
better.
things.
I'm a little
I don't
better.
know. I don't know.
I can fix things. I'm new.
I don't
I'm
know
fresh.
if I could. To be honest, I don't know if I could.
Okay, what did public opinion do, and public sentiment and protests and active violence do against, let's say, 15 years of legislation?
Well,
Like 7 days
So
of
here's-
the public being pissed did way more than 15 years of progressive legislators. Period.
more than 15 years.
50.
There's-
Fucking 50 years of legislators could
So,
not get done what
Here's
7 days
so
of protesters could.
a couple weeks ago when these George Floyd protests were starting, I posted on my Facebook, and I tried to stay pretty nonpartisan on my personal Facebook just because
Yeah.
I'm a business owner. Like I'll say my stuff on this podcast, but like I
Don't pigeonhole yourself.
But I posted no opinions, just facts. I posted that when Martin Luther King Jr. was shot, there were 8 days of violent protests in which $100 million of property damage occurred. And 7 days or whatever, on the 8th day, the Civil Rights Act of 1968 was signed.
Right.
That's all I posted. Those facts. Somebody fucking quoted that status and like inboxed me on Facebook and said, "Hey man, you probably shouldn't get political on Facebook because I'm gonna tell my friends not to fucking buy your shit at your business." Like, and so I didn't, because I didn't want to out them or anything. Like, I didn't want to be public with that. I then followed up that post and I said, "Hey, somebody just inboxed me. I shouldn't get political on my Facebook if I want to keep whatever." In response to my last status. For the record, that status was not political. All I did was give facts.
Yeah.
All that happened. I didn't say that was a good thing. I didn't say it was a bad thing. You interpreted it away. All I said was someone got killed, there were protests, it caused this much damage, and then an act was passed. That's all I said.
Facts.
Which is all facts.
Timeline. Facts.
And then I said, period, line break. If you want a political opinion, this is it. Don't buy my wine if you're racist. Period. That's it.
Which is pretty inoffensive. You'd think.
You'd think. But
You'd think.
some people I know, when you say, don't buy my shit if you're racist, they're like, well, what does that mean?
Well, all lives matter, obviously.
If you have to ask, right?
If you have to argue that Black Lives Matter is disproportionate,
Well, I don't give a... Okay, disregard everything. The thing that I saw that I love to repost is that your neighbor's house is on fire.
yes.
Firemen show up. They start putting out the fire. You jump in front of the hose And you say, no, all houses matter. And they go, well, okay, yeah, I know. This house is on fire. You're like, no. My house matters, buddy. If my house was on fire, you would put that out. And they go, yes, I'm aware. I agree with you. Your house does matter. Can you move so we can put out this fire, please? And you go, no. Can you spray my house, please?
And then by the time buddy that owns the house on fire is to show up to argue with you that his house matters more,
well, no,
he's already dead because the fire burned his house down.
No, and the problem is they don't even get a chance to debate.
No.
Right?
No.
So I am a white man, obviously. So are you.
In like rural provincial Manitoba.
In Canada.
Yeah.
We are the top of the chain.
Don't get fucked with.
Well, I'm pretty like, I don't want to say right, because I don't identify with the conservatives at all.
No.
But like, I'm pretty, libertarian with my thoughts. I do think there are systematic racism. I think the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, is based on racism, and it cannot be changed from the inside because it's based on basically shooting natives when they come off reserves, is what the RCMP was founded as.
Yeah.
And just like the American police was founded as slave patrol.
Yeah.
I think there is systematic racism.
Yep.
I think there's generational racism.
Yep.
And I think like generational trauma from racism. And I think that that's an actual problem.
Yeah.
Now, I have different opinions on like what people can do for that. Like they're not. I don't think people are helpless. But for instance, one of my employees, my head of promotions is a native Indigenous Canadian man, and he does samplings in government liquor stores all the time. He tells me when he walks in, he gets fucking watched by security guards.
Even though he's there to work.
Until he like sets up, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry," like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's
like,
profiled.
He's profiled.
And for context, his father controls probably one of the 5th largest financial funds in this entire province.
Yeah,
he's got a name that's literally plastered all over the city. His name is on this city, and he's still profiled because of his skin color.
He does better work than me.
Yeah,
but he grows his hair long on purpose, like traditionally,
which is absolutely fucking valid. I mean, I wish I could.
And he's a.
No, I don't wish I could. I probably could if I wanted to, but I don't.
And he's just a big native guy.
Yeah.
And
he's a giant.
He's like 6'5" and heavier than me. Sorry if you're listening to this, buddy. I love you. But he gets profiled.
Yeah. And if this was 200 years ago, he'd be chief, and he'd get and no, he would be chief, and he'd get absolute respect. And now, because of all these stupid fucking white people.
But man, like I'm able to do whatever I want, essentially.
Yeah.
And
that doesn't make you happier, though.
No, I'm not saying it does, but I'm just saying, like, there is a problem, right? Like, I think there's been many a time where, like, I haven't exactly been. I've been pretty candid about my, like, I've been in a trap house. I've been involved with drugs. I've been involved with crime. There's been a few times where I think if I was a person of color, I would be in jail right now.
Yeah, probably.
Even my brother too.
Yeah, no knock warrant, you could be dead.
We don't have no knock warrants in this province, but
if there was,
my brother had run-ins with the police. My brother was in jail before he died, and as a white guy, he was treated better. I think the courts gave him a chance.
Yeah, you're like, oh, poor white kid in a nice neighborhood.
When he was telling me, he goes to court and it's 95% native kids.
Yep.
Right, and it's it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what we do to solve stuff like that, because at a certain point, I also I gotta uphold my libertarian. At a certain point, you are responsible for your own life.
Yes.
Right.
But that's when you get to the conversation of equity versus equality.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's the
for anyone listening,
looking over a fence.
Yeah, it's
right?
the analogy of a short guy and a tall guy looking over a fence trying to watch a baseball game. Equality is both short guy and tall guy get the same height of a step stool.
And the short guy can't look over the fence and the tall guy can't.
Right. Equity is they both...
Short guy gets a taller step stool.
Right. They both get exactly what they need to look over the fence.
Yeah.
And we're both capitalist.
Yeah.
So we believe in equality
well,
in terms of like we have the same tools. You hustle, I hustle. You're lazy, I'm not. I win, you lose.
I want equal start, not equal finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
So equity is probably a better way to describe equal start.
Yes, because I want
100%.
equal. Yeah, I want equal start. And I would argue, I know this has kind of become a meme in the right side of things. Right politically, not correct side of things, like the right have made a meme. They're like, oh, you have a... Because the tweet I saw the other day was black woman goes to buy a house, and the mortgage guy, the bank guy, suggests, well, your family can't just give you the down payment?
Yeah.
And she's like, wow, that's actually a common thing, is that their family just give them a down payment for the house. She's like, the white people literally have a 300-year head start.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's become a meme in the right, like, conservative groups, is like, they're laughing at that.
But
it's not wrong.
Yeah, but what's kind of fun about this is neither of us have that.
No, I mean, like, I didn't grow up poor. I grew up...
poor,
my parents...
but your parents don't have that generational head start. And neither do mine.
Not just, like, my parents...
I'm second generation immigrant.
I'm not, but...
But your parents are not far off from where my parents were.
My parents are both teachers. They're government workers.
But what did they get from their parents in terms of wealth?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, like... They didn't have...
Virtually nothing.
Good education...
Well, public.
Job opportunities.
Public.
Sure.
All public. Your parents made shit happen.
Yeah, but maybe my mother couldn't get a job if she was black in the same school division.
Yeah, okay, fair. Yes. Excluding race, your parents didn't have a leg up.
Maybe networking wise, like my grandfather on my mother's side was a superintendent of schools. Maybe that helped my mother become a teacher. Like,
but even if she wasn't, she probably could have still got a teacher job.
Maybe, sure.
So maybe a little bit of leg up, not a lot.
Yeah.
My parents immigrated. I've got no leg up in this city except for what's happened in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
You've got no leg up because you're not in education.
Yeah, my parents and I are on the better terms now.
Yes.
Good terms, I would dare to say. But when I was 18, when they kicked me out of their house,
not good.
We were not on very good terms, no.
But thank God our city does not put much bearing on race.
No.
Because whites are the minority in the city.
Not quite.
Okay, Filipino is like 30%.
16%.
Okay, Chinese is like...
Less than 10.
10. African is like...
Less than 5.
Less than 5. And then you have...
we have the highest concentration of Filipinos outside the Philippines is like Winnipeg.
Right, so between like white...
A lot of natives, obviously. But we're a fucking melting pot. Like
but between Aboriginal, African, and Filipino, and...
My phone's recording, but I'm 100% sure white is still over 50%.
But not by a huge amount. No. We're probably like not higher than 60 or 65. But either way, it's not a dominating majority.
Which I think was awesome growing up.
And even of the white people that are of the dominating majority, a lot of them are immigrants. Russian immigrants, Ukrainian immigrants.
We do have a lot of Ukrainian Jews. We have a lot of Israel.
The WASP.
Actually, honestly, when you think about it, we have a lot of Mennonites from Germany and
a ton of immigration.
Yeah.
So, thankfully, we're in a melting pot where it's not unusual to have Like, yeah, I had a buddy who's from Greece.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who's a gypsy from Ireland. I had a buddy who's from...
Gypsy's a slur, by the way.
Yes, I know. But
Romani.
he called himself that since, like, I was 4.
I know black people call themselves the N-word as well, and I would not say that.
Fair enough. No, he's from Bosnia. He's a Greek from Bosnia, called himself a gypsy.
Yeah.
Really confusing. I don't get it, any of it.
Whatever.
But a half Russian, half Latino guy from Mexico. And yeah, just incredibly colorful. Like, that was my closest group of friends.
Yeah.
Race didn't play into it.
Yeah.
We're lucky. We're in Manitoba.
Yeah, we're lucky.
We're very lucky.
Yeah. Which is why
we don't stress about it.
Yeah, we don't even think about it, I think.
Which kind of leads me to, like, up until the recording this podcast, I kept on thinking, like, okay, I'm a white guy in Manitoba, which is, in scope of the world, probably one of the best off in terms of COVID, next to, like, maybe some rural province in Singapore.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing really well.
300 infections, 7 deaths on 1.3 million people.
Right. So we're doing very, very well.
Yeah.
Police brutality.
Yeah.
I've experienced none. I had one run with the police, and it was because I caught a fucking predator.
Weren't you grew up not involved? You grew up a church kid that wasn't involved in crime, though.
I caught a predator.
I grew up in...
I caught a predator.
Yeah.
He owned a security company.
Yeah.
But I called the cops on him because I caught him with a little girl in a fucking mall parking lot, and called the police. They showed up. They rolled up on me because he called the police first because he's a security guard.
Yeah.
They rolled up to me. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I'm like, "Oh, I saw this guy with a little girl in his car." They're like, "Oh, okay, take your friends home. We're gonna go talk to him."
Yeah.
He got arrested.
Yeah.
Like, that was my experience with the police.
I've had a lot of bad experiences with police.
Yes.
I'm sure you can elaborate by hearing me talk that I'm a little bit of a shit disturber. But I also never hurt people. Like, one of my biggest tenets is, like, do not steal when there's a direct victim.
Yeah.
I would never steal someone's bike.
Yeah.
Or someone's shit out of their, house. Like, if I ever...
Don't steal a contractor's tools.
When there's a direct victim.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to commit to anything. I don't want to confess to anything. But if I were, hypothetically, he says, looking into the camera, to ever steal, it would be from giant corporations that I know are throwing out half their fucking food at the end of the day anyway to not give it to homeless people.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to say I haven't committed crimes in my life. But, like, personally, I've been roughed up by police where it shouldn't have been. My brother was unfairly handled by police, I would say.
Okay, can you describe that, please?
When my brother got stabbed, he got robbed and stabbed 11 times, and he survived. I'm just trying to collect myself. Sorry. It was a traumatic time. That was the most scared I was ever, and the most shook I was ever until the day he died. Was that day when he got stabbed. First day I took off work in 2 years was to go to the hospital to be with him. And I don't want to say how or why because they shouldn't. I have a connection in the Winnipeg Police Service, and they told me that no one ever opened a file on my brother getting stabbed 11 times. He was 17 years old. Because my brother was a user of drugs, because he had PTSD from stuff that I don't want to get into.
Which also was not solved.
Yeah. And what I heard them say is that they don't care about junkies killing each other.
Period.
And so they never opened a file. And they never thought about it. And this was a 17-year-old boy who had been stabbed and almost died and left for dead. And the police said, we don't give a shit.
The solve rate is insanely low.
And I don't know if you saw recently, they fucking found one of these protesters, one of the guys that broke a window at the Black Lives Matter, off of a shirt that he was wearing. They found it on Etsy.
Yeah.
They tracked the fucking seller and they found him. Bull fucking shit, you can't find these people. You just don't care.
You just don't care. I got mugged.
Yeah, I know you.
I gave the exact path because I could track my phone because it's on my phone. I tracked exactly where he was when. I gave within a 3-minute window of where he was standing and where.
And they couldn't find him.
And there was probably 7 or 8 cameras on that location at that time. And the detective, quote, couldn't find anything. I told him what he was wearing, what he looked like, how tall he was, within 3 minutes of when he was standing in that position. Quote, couldn't find him. I'm guessing never looked.
I'm guessing never. Well, so...
Thank God, got my own fucking street justice.
Stop right
Period.
there. Stop right there.
That's it. He got found.
Stop right there.
Period.
Stop. I also had one of my friends got arrested and put face down on the concrete, like because he was in a car at the time, so he ripped him out of the car, put him down on the street. He informed the officer that he had asthma, and he needed because he was obviously in distress.
Yeah.
He was having an asthma attack, and he couldn't breathe. He informed the officer that he needed his inhaler. It was in his center console. Officer told him to go fuck himself. Like, he almost died on the road until his partner was like, buddy, like, can we... his buddy, the partner of the cop also, like, had asthma and, like, gave him a inhaler hit. But they were prepared to let him fucking suffocate on the ground. My other friend, I won't use any details here, but they are a sex worker, and they were assaulted, and they called the police, and they were raped by a police officer, who basically said, well, sex workers, that's what they give to people.
You asked for it.
You like, basically, I'm protecting you, so I get payment.
And
that, to my knowledge...
no recourse.
No, yeah, to my knowledge, that police officer is still on the force.
Yeah.
Just like, rest in peace, rest in power, Crystal Tannen, young girl, I think 18 years old, was driving home from whatever, and was fucking T-boned by a drunk driver. She died. And that drunk driver was a police officer who was on duty, driving drunk. And they had six police officers that were at a party with him testify on the stand, and they all said exactly the same words, like they had rehearsed it. Well, I don't recall what happened that night, and I don't recall what the officer was drinking. And he got off scot-free.
Absolutely.
Rest in power, Crystal Tannen. And we've had... And so this happened with not Canadian cops, with American cops, so they're a little bit different, but the first and only time I've had a gun pointed in my head was with... I was in Minneapolis, or outside of Minneapolis, in Minnesota.
Thanks, America.
Yeah. And we were on private property, me and my friends, long story, but we were followed by a cop because it was the middle of the night, but we were on a road trip. We were heading to Michigan. We were just passing through this Minnesota town to pick somebody up, pick one of our friends up. And so this cop was following us because he thought we were suspicious or whatever, right? And we pulled in this private property, and he whips on his fucking siren. Because he's like, oh, they're breaking into private property. I don't know what he said, but he's like, oh, whatever. But as he was flicking on the siren was when my friend was getting out of his car in front of us. It was just like coincidence, like he didn't see the cop because it was pitch black. So in the cop's mind, he's like, oh God, I just threw on my lights and this guy's running. So he pulls out his fucking gun. He's like, get the fuck back in the car, get the fuck out. And we're all like, okay, like, chill the fuck out. So he calls the rest, I assume the rest of the police department, because it's a small town, Crosby, Minnesota. Shout out Crosby, Minnesota.
Fuck you.
And, like, a car shows up with, like, 4 cops in it. Like, they come out of the back, like, you know. And they're inspecting all of us. There's, like, 10 of us over 2 cars. We got the red Grand Marquis, the 1990 Grand Marquis. Anyway, so this cop comes up, gun in his hand. And for the record, I've been pulled over many times by Canadian cops. Sometimes for, like, not just speeding.
Legitimate problems.
Legitimate crimes. I've never had a fucking Canadian cop have their gun unholstered, unsafetied in their hand.
No.
Never.
Why?
So I have this cop walk up to me. I'm in the back left-hand seat, so the back behind the driver. This police officer has their gun unholstered, unsafetied, ready to fire. Walks up, and he taps it on my window. My window's already half rolled down. I roll it down all the way. He goes, yeah, like, can I get your ID? Stops. We're on a road trip, right? We have fucking Doritos and fucking shit all over the car. You know how, like, the back of the car has, like, a pull little bag, little pouch?
Yeah.
I have a bottle of Mountain Dew in there. It's a glass bottle, because it's America. Glass bottle of Mountain Dew. He stops mid-sentence, looks at that bottle, and puts this pistol to my fucking head. I can feel the metal, like, on my skin. He goes, pull that bottle out right now.
Fuck that bitch.
Like, yeah, I'm talking about it right now, I can feel it. I had a fucking gun, like, ready to fire on my fucking skin. He goes, pull that bottle out right now. And I pull it out slowly. It says Mountain Dew. He goes, okay. Takes the gun away.
Fuck that bitch.
What if it was beer? You gonna shoot me?
Probably.
I was 17.
Probably would have shot you.
I think, yeah, no, I was underage because I had to get my parents to sign a letter for me to be over to cross the border. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was underage.
Yeah.
He would have killed me, maybe.
For
Probably not, but, like, you know what I mean.
But why? Why would you have the gun?
Why do you have the gun out at all?
What would that solve?
So,
Oh, kid drank a beer, kill him.
touched my skin, touched my head right here.
Sheriff?
No, I don't know. It was just a cop. I don't know.
Probably sheriff.
Maybe, yeah. It was a small town. I don't know.
Sheriff.
Yeah.
Probably sheriff. Sheriff's learning about police structure in America.
Yeah.
Fucking fascinating. They cannot coordinate them fucking selves to save their own goddamn lives. So you have city is police, county is sheriff, state is... Fuck, what is state?
Statey.
State patrol.
We're in the Staties from The Departed.
You have state, and then you have federal.
Yeah.
So you have fucking 4 levels
Because
that do not get along or communicate.
we do have
All policing the people.
we do have sheriffs in Canada.
They act primarily for the court.
For the courts, yeah, they're court enforcers.
That's it.
Yeah.
Funny. In the States,
It's
though,
weird.
they're county.
Yeah, I know.
So they can act as police.
I played Red Dead Redemption.
Right.
I know how.
It's truly incredible. And if anyone listening to this is like so far confused about our stance, we believe we're over policed.
We do. Speak for yourself.
You disagree?
So I believe we're over policed.
Okay. And like, people are mostly good.
People are mostly good. I
You
think.
do not need to pull a gun on a motherfucker with a Mountain Dew bottle.
Well, cops don't.
Okay, why are you scared as a cop?
You're wearing body armor. Why are you scared?
Okay, here's something I thought of the other day.
Yeah.
I spent probably a good fucking 4 hours of my day sitting there staring at the wall contemplating this idea. Peacekeepers.
Don't you have a business to run?
I intermittently.
Okay.
So, what are the rules of engagement of peacekeeping?
Till they shoot at you, right?
Yes.
You can see people. You're in Afghanistan. You can see people with guns. You can't shoot.
You can have buddy with an AK-47 can be standing in your face, pointing it in your face.
Till they shoot, you can't engage.
Till he pulls the trigger, you cannot retaliate.
Because it's not your fucking country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, as a cop, how powerful would that be if you knew that the cops could not pull the trigger until you first pull the trigger? Because A, they have body armor, B, they usually outnumber you 7-1.
What's Breonna Taylor? What's?
Yeah.
She was sleeping.
Right.
She was sleeping.
Yeah, get fucked, sleep and die.
It's like,
pray the Lord
if you don't
my
want to
soul
be,
to keep.
if you don't want to be shot, don't break the law. Breonna Taylor was sleeping. What's his name?
George Floyd.
Philippe Castile. He was legally carrying a gun.
Yeah.
Permitted.
Yeah.
And he was at a check stop. He informed the police officer he was carrying a gun. He said, okay, show me your license. He goes to reach for the license. He says, don't reach for the gun. He said, I'm not reaching for the gun. I'm reaching for my license. He said, don't reach for the fucking gun. He said, I'm not reaching for the gun. I'm reaching for the license. Cop puts his gun in his fucking head. I'm not reaching for the gun. I'm reaching for my license. The girl in the passenger seat says, he's not reaching for his gun. He's reaching for the license. Cop shoots him.
Sounds like a racist asshole.
I think it was Philippe Castile. Sorry if I'm getting these names wrong. I'm intoxicated. But the other guy he was the caretaker for a mentally challenged man.
Mm-hmm.
Cops showed up. He lay down on his stomach with his arms out on the concrete, and he was shot by police.
How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel like this cannot be solved.
No, like feel. Not think, feel.
I'm angry.
Like, I get the feeling of like, I want to fucking kill somebody.
But
it's not my
I know
problem.
that won't help though. That's the
doesn't
problem.
matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, think, yes, I know it won't help. Think, yes, I know I should vote. Think, yes, I should do something, say something.
Yeah.
Feel?
Yeah.
Fight or flight? I want to fucking fight.
Yeah.
I want to fucking fight.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just.
But that's why these protests burst out of control, is because
there's so much pent up anger.
There's fight, flight, freeze.
Yeah.
Freeze isn't an option. Flight, where are you going to go to?
Yeah.
You're in America. America is where you go to when you're in trouble.
America was supposed to be the freedom.
Right. So it's fight. Don't tread on me.
Yeah.
Don't tread on my freedom.
Don't
tread on my rights. Don't fucking tread on me.
But you know what's great is that the right and the left can agree on the cops have gone too far.
Exactly.
Which I like. Right?
Love.
At the end of the day...
Like an extreme right group was recently credited for the murder of a police officer.
Yeah.
This guy, he reached... or like snuck out the back of an SUV with what they called a quote a ghost gun, and he killed a police officer.
Yeah.
In a protest.
Yeah.
And they were blaming Black Lives Matter and the protest, whatever. It was actually an extreme right group.
Okay.
Which is Trump synthetic, but they're accelerationists trying to provoke the Civil War, the next quote Civil War, and he's like extreme right group. This guy with this fucking skinhead with a gun.
Yeah. Boogaloos.
Yeah, kills a cop in a Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah.
Like, what's that guy thinking? Fight or flight. He's gonna fight for...
I just, I follow both sides of the arguments.
The best
I follow
you can.
groups and pages of both sides, because I like to see all sides of an argument. And I hear a lot of, George Floyd was a career criminal, he's arrested all these times.
Fuck that, he wasn't a career criminal.
Okay, even if he was,
He did 6 years of dumb shit, and then
there's
he
a
straightened
good
himself
there
out.
and there's a good post that's, hey cops, you're not supposed to kill guilty people either.
Right?
That's not your fucking job.
No, you were not. What's that movie?
Thanks for that. What movie, Tyler?
Sorry, where the cop, because like the judicial system is overwhelmed, he's literally judge, jury, executioner.
Judge Dredd?
Dredd. Yes.
Judge Dredd.
Dredd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Judge
you're
Dredd.
not fucking Dredd. You don't have the training. You spent 21 weeks in community college.
fucking,
Shut the hell up.
You always hear that fucking lawyers are like, yeah, we went to 6-8 years of fucking school to be a lawyer, to understand the law. Someone goes to fucking school for 6 weeks to fucking enforce the law. What the fuck is that about?
And of those, well, it's 21,
It's
26
more than 6
weeks.
weeks. I was being hyperbolic.
Yes, out of 21 weeks, probably 6 of those is self-defense.
And I saw today, I don't know if it was real, but I saw today, someone screenshotted someone's Snapchat. They were graduated 6 weeks 6 weeks early at the police academy because they were they have cops are resigning, so they need more cops.
Yeah.
So they're graduating these trainees 6 weeks early
Yeah.
to become cops.
Lack of recruits.
And it's like a cop is allowed to overreact and kill someone when they think there's a gun. But when I have a gun in my face, if I freak out, I get killed. You know what I mean?
Back to the peacekeeper idea.
Yeah, it's like I
get
can
fired
fucking
up-
rant for a long time.
You get fired upon, you fire back.
Mhm.
If you, quote, feel threatened, you can kill? Like, I feel mildly threatened when a guy comes in with a better suit than I'm wearing. Like, does that mean I can kill the man?
Yes. It's good.
Awesome.
So here's one. I can't remember his name, and I apologize for that because I'm intoxicated. But he was, I don't know. I don't know what the actual. Okay, so allegedly he was drunk driving, but he was in like a Wendy's parking lot or a Wendy's drive-through, and he fell asleep in his car.
Yeah.
So, not a danger to anyone. Someone called the cops. Cops showed up. Obviously fucked with him, pulled him out of the car, whatever. Allegedly what happened was he grabbed the cop's taser, tried to tase him, cops shot him dead. Now, okay, yeah, he was breaking the law, whatever. But what I commented, like when I saw that article, was, what kind of fucking pussy is scared of a drunk guy with a non-lethal weapon when you're wearing body armor?
Yeah, no shit. You can navigate with a taser in the
You-
leg or the arm.
Barely, too, right? The face, maybe?
You have to get both.
Both tongs, because they have to connect, right?
Yeah.
Both tongs on somewhere that you're not wearing Kevlar.
Yeah.
Which you're wearing a fucking Kevlar vest all the way down to your belt. And I guess, do American police wear Kevlar pants?
I don't know.
Ours don't. But I know, like, Chicago, I think they do. They wear, like,
Yeah.
a fucking Kevlar pants.
I mean, you can buy it as a motorcycle rider.
Literally, yeah, literally. So, but whatever. You have to hit both tongs of this taser drunk on someone's, like, face.
Within short range.
Good luck.
Which is insanely hard.
Good luck, right? So, what kind of fucking pussy is this cop that you're scared for your life?
And you kill him.
And not, yeah, maybe you get hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe you get tased in the fucking face. Why is it that when you tase somebody, it's a non-lethal weapon, but when they pull it on you, it's a lethal weapon? Why is that, huh?
Yeah. Fucking box the dude. You've been in training. You've been lifting
You're
weights.
You're tear gassing fucking people. Oh, don't complain about tear gassing. That's non-lethal. But they pull a fucking tear gas on you. You're like, oh, boom, 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 boom. That's a lethal weapon. What fucking hypocrites? I'm pissed off. I'm sorry. I'm mad.
So, Willows invited me to debate him about police brutality, and he said, "You know what? We should debate
A bootlegger.
about this." And I'm like, "Why? Why? We're on the same side. We need to find somebody that would actually debate us." And he's like, "Okay, I'll find a bootlegger," and I'm like, "Okay, let's find a bootlegger."
I said we should get a bootlegger, like, pro-cop person to come on the podcast.
Also, can you please define bootlegger?
A bootlegger is someone who, like, defers to authority.
Someone who...
You're licking the boot of...
Someone who goes too far...
Of the government.
To appease authority.
You believe the government, you believe cops, you're licking their boots.
Literally licking them.
Not literally, it's a figurative.
So if you're a bootlicker and you want to argue...
Well, no, but because I know a few on my Facebook that would probably come on this podcast.
We probably end up
No,
fighting.
they're not smart enough.
No.
Like, I wouldn't fight them.
You just said I'm getting angry.
No, I wouldn't even get angry.
No, they would get angry.
Yeah, they would get, but they wouldn't have good arguments. That's the problem. Is like, when
It might be good content. Even the smartest guy I know resorted to saying, do you support Antifa? What degree of fascism are you a part of?
Well, and then I'd be like, no. Like, there wouldn't be a good argument. Like, these people they don't have an argument. They're just like...
Are you this or that? If you're not that, then you're not real.
Well, and they're hypocrites, right?
Yeah.
Because when Hong Kong does a rebellion against their government,
Yeah.
they're in the right.
Yes.
But when America does it, they're wrong.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about, right? The same people that are offended by gay cartoon characters, why are you sexualizing gay cartoon characters, are also offended when they take away the gun from Elmer Fudd. Why would you be offended by cartoons? Who cares?
Who cares if he's killing...
Whatever, it doesn't matter. These people are hypocrites and they don't think about it.
Don't think.
They're like...
Challenge us. Fucking fight me, bro.
And I don't want to debate them because I won't get anywhere.
No.
They'll just repeat the
not.
same thing. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, George Soros fucking pays you to say that. Like,
so neither of us engage in political debates publicly, online.
Because of that. Well, and
right.
I always fuck
Except for...
I fuck with people.
The occasional fuck with a guy.
No, I always, like, debate somebody for, like, a couple minutes while I'm, like, waiting for a meeting. I show up I always show up 15 minutes early to
And then,
meetings.
like, it's a thrill, right?
No, I'm bored.
Yeah, it's fun, though.
No, and then I turn off notifications on Facebook.
Yeah, you ghost them.
And I go to my fucking meeting, and they're responding. Like, and I'm...
They're invested.
Like, tell me about this fucking... I'm like, man, I got a meeting. I don't care. I literally don't care. It's just to exercise my brain, keep it going, right? But I haven't found a person that can keep up with us intellectually.
Okay, Ben Shapiro of the right.
I would love to debate Ben Shapiro.
I would just want to hang out with a guy.
Ben Shapiro, like Tim Pool, like people like that are like farther right wing than me.
Would you feel threatened by him?
I don't think so.
No.
Ben Shapiro's fucking...
I'd be like, anything I would say that I believe in, I'd be like, yeah, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And he would give, like, a 20-point rebuttal. I'd be like, that was really impressive.
Dude,
let me take some notes and research that.
I don't agree with Ben Shapiro on a lot of stuff.
But
I like the way he can come up with arguments.
And he actually lives what he believes.
Yeah. He's a faithful Jewish man.
He's integral.
Yeah. I don't believe him on abortion, on trans people, on gay marriage, on anything
Absolutely
like
not.
that. Anything like that. But a lot of the thought process, I at least respect.
It's logical progression.
Yeah.
Through facts.
I would love to debate someone like Ben Shapiro. But a lot of the people that I talk to are just repeating the same fucking garbage that they hear. When it's
you reach a breaking point,
when it's like Obama bad, Trump good,
or the other way around.
when it's like, but we've both presidents, or the other way around,
and you're like,
both of them dropped drone strikes on fucking Yemen children.
So let me tie this together. You're like, Trump good, Obama bad. What happens when you say Trump bad, Obama bad?
Yeah, it changes.
Short circuit. They're like, ah! Fall over.
So, shout out, what's her name? Johansson or something, the Libertarian candidate for America now.
For America? Like all of America?
Well, yeah, she's the federal Libertarian candidate.
Okay.
She just got elected.
Hansen?
Joe. I don't know what the last name is.
What state?
It's another J. I think it's Joe Johansson.
Alright.
Joe, something like that.
Find it, prove it, send it.
Libertarian. Google Libertarian Joe. Shout out her. She's killing it. She's not killing it, but she's killing it. Well, no, the last election, American presidential election with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, had the largest third-party support ever in history, at like 5% or something.
Yeah. Which is hilarious.
Let's keep fucking going!
Burn it down, baby.
Dude, Canada, we don't have a two-party system. We have a 5-party, or we have as many parties as you want.
But currently,
you have to have 4 seats in we have 330 seats.
a lot.
We have 330 seats.
You need
I don't know
4
if
to be an
that's
official party.
You have to be 4. You have to have 4 seats to be an actual party.
And being an actual party, you can be represented in debates.
Yeah, so you can go to these debates, whatever.
Yeah.
So we have like 6 parties that are
Active.
and
On the stage.
yeah,
In conversation.
yeah, because we have
Bloc Québécois, Libertarian, or Liberal.
Libertarian is not.
Fuck, I
does not have a
wish.
party.
Liberal, Conservative,
Mhm.
NDP,
And green.
Green.
Yeah. So the NDP is like the farthest left. Then we have the Liberals a little bit less left. The Green is like a weird kind of middle.
Kind of centrist.
Well, they're
Centrist.
libertarian policies, but they're like far left when it comes to environmental stuff.
Obviously.
And then we have conservative,
Which is conservative.
far right, or not far right.
Centrist right.
Even Canada is like
It's center right.
our far right is center, and Bloc Québécois is a Quebec centrist, Quebec separatist party.
Which is not even we don't have any extreme right.
But, they're far right, or not far
Bloc?
right, but no, the Bloc is as right as conservative.
But they're not going to hurt anybody if they're far.
No, like even our last conservative, our last Republican in quotations, our last like right prime minister was still like, oh yeah, gay people that's cool, abortion that's cool, whatever. Like Stephen Harper was like,
Because
I'm not gonna fuck with that shit.
Why?
Let's just support
It's
Israel.
already happened.
Let's just support Israel and do a bunch of other stupid shit. Like whatever.
Like, I love this country that we're in. I watch America out of like morbid curiosity. It's not our responsibility. We don't have any voting rights there.
I'm happy.
But if I can change 50 votes,
yeah,
100 votes
by talking,
just by speaking about the fact that like you don't have to choose.
This is an election year
Right.
in America.
You don't have to choose.
Who do you want to win? Donald Trump or Joseph Biden?
I'd like to see. This is something that
Joe Johansson. I don't know what her name is. Joe, the Libertarian.
Yeah. See, this is something that a fucking simp couldn't understand. Is you could. I supported Trump through 2019.
Do you really?
Yeah, because in Cleveland, for the black population, for the lower class population in these industrial cities, were profiting hugely. I saw muchly. I saw, I think at least a dozen new high schools being put up, built, funded, new programs. There was more manufacturing jobs. In general, stronger economy for that part of the country. And I was super supportive of it. I mean, even though it's a democratic state, I was pretty happy about it because we saw the positive effects of what Trump was doing. And, you know, it's like, it's kind of like a cautionary tolerance of his policies. And he's like, he's not hurting anybody. but it's working so far. But come January, everybody knows what happens. Massively bubbled COVID, and along comes what we have today.
Exactly. I
So-
agree with that.
Yes, thank you, Willows. I don't know. I've lost faith simply because it went from kind of like a non-offensive position to, okay, now he's like actually opposed to these things. Now he's like actually tear gassing people to take photos.
Yeah. I guess
I can't fucking support that guy anymore because, like, I don't know if it's kind of like a perceptive thing of all the different medias that I've listened to on how he's running the White House.
Yeah.
If you burn people like that so quickly, people that are passionate about their jobs, whether left or right, and you burn through them and they quit and they have to leave or they get fired, like, you're doing something that is so selfish and disruptive. If you cannot get along with anyone, that's a bad sign. Like, you can anybody can identify when there's poison in the water.
Yeah.
And I just kind of have this gut feeling that this guy is like running things for his own self-preservation.
Yeah.
And if
Which, like, wouldn't you as president?
no,
Okay, maybe
I would fucking kill myself for the greater good.
Yeah, fair.
I would kill myself.
Or not take the position in the first place.
No, exactly. I would kill myself for the greater good. And I think he's all about self-preservation, and he is doing anything it takes to stay in power, good or bad.
Do you think he's gonna win again, Trump?
It's a fucking 50-50.
I think he's gonna win again.
He'll likely win again.
I'm putting it right here. He's gonna win again.
He'll probably win again, but as I said to this...
Man, fucking Biden's a fucking Clinton.
Yeah.
He's an establishment Democrat. Don't run him.
No.
Run somebody else.
Ugh.
Tulsi 2020.
Yeah, he'll win, but it won't mean anything.
He's gonna win.
He won't mean it. It won't mean anything because, like, how many presidents, as the incumbent, have not won re-election?
A lot of them win.
It's like 4.
Yeah, a lot of them win.
4 presidents have not won re-election.
Yeah, a lot.
If he wins, it'll mean nothing. If he doesn't, it'll be significant.
Do we care?
Literally speaking, no.
Literally speaking, no. Do you think it affects your day to day?
No.
Do you think the Prime Minister of Canada affects your day to day?
No.
No, me neither. I don't think.
If he did, either way, I'd deal with it.
I was surprised Justin Trudeau won this year. This time, the second time, after all these fucking controversies. SNC Lab one, he literally got convicted of using government funds
He's not good.
with his friends and
But he's been handling COVID well.
giving people money isn't handling COVID well, but okay.
No, I mean, he's been...
For voters, though.
He's been, quote-unquote presidential. He's calmed the people. He's been okay. He's been crazy.
No one's talking about Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
He's passed the test.
Yeah.
Doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking sorry, Trump. I cannot stomach supporting.
I still love you, Trump. I think it's exactly what America deserves.
Exactly what it got. Yeah, no shit.
So we usually start to wrap up the podcast after we've both gone in the bathroom for the first time. We realize that that's when we're starting to feel it and starting to taper off. So I think we're going to kind of round up our thoughts. I wanted this to kind of start talking about police brutality and stuff like that, and then do the bulk of the podcast talking about business, but we just fucking went right into
we're not happy.
We're not happy with what's going on. So, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, let's give some practical advice. In periods of instability, Like, I'm mad, right? I'm mad. I got, like, there's shit that's going on that I don't like. How do I support that while still getting up every morning and doing my job and working on my business and, like, working like that?
Well, first of all, run your fucking business.
Yeah, I would say, like, one of the best pieces of advice is, like, become successful, right?
Yeah.
And tell them to go fuck themselves. Join the boys club because you're rich. And they're like, and you're like, haha, Black Lives Matter, you fucking ingrates. And they're like, how did you get in this golf club? And you're like, haha, I'm rich. Like,
Sold a lot of booze.
I sold wine to 17 people today. Therefore, I can get on this golf club.
Realistically, do whatever you can. Because whoever of you is entrepreneurs, you probably understand what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Those of you who are not, use your voice. Use your time.
Or support people that are using their voice, right?
Right.
Sign petitions.
Or don't oppose. Don't create noise. Don't create static.
Yeah. Yeah.
Static is just as dangerous as an enemy.
Yeah.
So don't create static. Don't make it about you. Neither of us have made any personal posts, made any personal statements. We just repost stuff, say nothing, say a little.
I posted the black square, but I did it without the Black Lives Matter hashtags.
Yeah.
Because they were saying how that was like bogging down information that you needed.
Yep.
But I'm also like I'm not pretending, and I don't want to virtue signal and be like I'm learning, so I'm staying silent. I don't fucking care. But I also don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I want to be an ally on a lot of different things, because at the end of the day, the thing that I will die for, the hill that I will die on, is that you should be able to do whatever you want if you're not hurting anybody else.
Regardless of regardless of who you are, look what you look like, what you believe in, what your sex is, who you fuck, who you don't.
Period. That's no exceptions. There's no buts.
No.
If you do something without hurting somebody else, you're allowed to do it. Period. That's it.
Including buying Skittles and sleeping. Go figure.
So that includes everything. Sexuality and race and whatever else.
Yeah. We can't even... We don't even time to dig into these bills against trans people.
Don't think about it. Fuck it. Like... Yeah, I don't want to get into it because I don't, like... Everyone should just be able to do whatever the fuck they want.
And if you don't get this by now...
Why are we even talking about trans people? Why are we even talking about gay people?
Stop.
Like, just, why is that...
Get on with it.
Why are we... Get on... Why are we even talking about it?
Yeah.
Like... I don't get it. What are we saying? Like... I don't know. Whatever.
Nothing of value.
Nothing of value, yeah. Because at the end of the day, I get up every single morning. We're drunk. It's like 1 a.m. We gotta get up in like 4 hours.
To golf.
You're going golfing. I gotta fucking work.
I don't know how to golf.
But we're doing this for you. We'll probably call it there, eh?
Yeah.
My name is Willows, Willows, like the trees. Vote Willows, VOTE, Willows, on everything. Instagram, Snapchat,
On all the things.
Facebook, Twitter, whatever. This is my co-host. His name is...
Tyler Bergen, _ the Builder. Tyler the Builder, I think. I'm not too familiar with my hashtags, but I build things. I don't like things. And thank you for listening to our rants, because we're mad, and you're mad.
Yeah, if you're mad, just be mad.
Just fucking be mad. Rip up that ballot. No, don't rip it. Fucking destroy it and submit it. If you're mad,
no, here's what I'll say. Focus your anger
on
yourself.
Yes. So?
You can... It's like Mad Libs. You can build...
A following.
Sure. Whatever, man. Like, hey, you're... Fucking mad.
Fight the power!
Fight the powers that be. Like, when I'm...
Fight the power!
We have a minuscule following. We have like I think we did pass 20 viewers. 20
That's a
listeners.
lot more people than I talk to on a daily basis.
That's more than words. I love every single one of you. I'll say this again. If you're listening right now to the end of the podcast, thank you for coming by. Please comment on wherever you're listening. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Please comment where you're listening from.
Even if it's how shitty our audio is.
If your comment is your audio is shitty, just please tell me where you're commenting from, and like thank you honestly for listening. But we have a minuscule following. I'm telling you guys, just let people fucking do shit that they want to without hurting people, and let's stop shooting black and native people. And let's
fucking right.
yeah.
Why do we have to even say this?
Alcohol Beyond This Point as soon as I remember the Instagram password. And Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast on Facebook. Alcohol Beyond This Point on Spotify. Thanks for listening. Like, I really appreciate it. And let's all do.
And that's why we drink. Just pulls it off, doesn't even stop.